Welcome all. In this lecture, I would like to discuss about performance, security, and energy efficiency of the clouds and the distributed operating systems as far we discussed. Today, we are covering performance metrics and scalability analysis, fault tolerance and system availability, network threats and data integrity, energy efficiency, and distributed computing. So, in performance metrics and the scalability analysis, we have the first one is the performance analysis of the performance. How we are going to specify that the performance of the system is good or the performance of the system is better. So based on the bandwidth we are using here. So here, if you are measuring the network, then we will include that is the bandwidth is the thing we are specifying. For the CPU also it changes. Means based on for what you are measuring the performance, it will decide the measurement factor or the measurement metric for analysis or anything. So for the CPU speed, we are taking that is a MIPS. And then next, what the network bandwidth will be Mbps that we are providing. These are these two are used for the estimating the processor what we are using as well as the network performance here. So whereas considering the distributed operating system, what we need to do is nothing but to specify the that is a performance or in based of that thing. What we need to consider the system throughput. That is, if you are considering the performance, the speed is specified. If you are specifying it as a throughput here, we need to specify how many operations has been took per second or per minute or per thing what we are using there. So if you are specifying it as a MIPS, that is the instructions what you are using, operations what you are using for per second, then the system or the throughput what we are considering will be measured by the T flops what we are using, terafloating point operations per second. If you are not considering the T flops, or we can use the TPS also. That is a transactions per second. There is a what the kind of the work, and then next what the amount of the work has been transmitted has been followed for this amount of the time. If you want to use that is more than the T flops, you can use that is G flops, and then next to P flops also can be used for to performance means to measure the throughput of that. And what will be the other means if we are considering the system based the processing, the speed and the next the throughput, only the important factors has been set for the measuring the performance here. Not only these things, what we have to do is nothing but we need to include the other measures also. The other measures are the job response time and the network latency. So what this latency here is for means we raised a request, and then next the server what we are using has been responded to that thing. Between the request raising and then next means the request has been transferred to the server, and then next you what they do is nothing but he means he or she, it will process the request given by the consumer, and then next they will send the output to that one. So for that, what they need to do is nothing but they need to provide that is the whatever the thing you are performing the requesting has to be transmitted to the server, and then it's done in the within the fraction of seconds like that. Either there is any waiting time or whether there is anything has been means represented has to be measured there. There is a latency means the time took for the requesting, and then next request place, and then next what the time took for the responding, it is the latency here. So the job response time is also mentioned here. So is there any mention that is waiting time will be there, or any means if it is high means what it does is nothing but the server what you are accessing to means do this work is very busy. What we need to by that for service the service provided what will do is whether he will allocate the new server to access all the jobs for this criteria, that is he has to maintain the multiple servers at the time and to access the points what they're having, and then it's you have to give the information to the others there. After that, what you have to do is nothing but there could be means what will be the advantages and the disadvantages. The latency what we are using here, that the word that is their waiting time of for the processing your request is has been increased. So for that, what you have to do is nothing but we need to maintain the low latency here. To maintain the low latency, we need to they have the chosen two things here. We can use the multiple servers here, and the other one is the high bandwidth. So if we are using the high bandwidth, what to do is nothing but the request what we are mentioned will be transferred in a very speedily, and then it's fastly it is traverse means transferred to the server. And what the servers does is nothing but it takes the request given by you as the way it is processing, and the next the request what you are taking will be responded very fastly, and it has to be given to the same through and through like that. So after that, what we need to consider is the attributes. What are the different attributes to specify the performance of the things is that is the boot time, compile time, what is the input output data rate, what you are using, runtime support system used. So these all the things has to be specified. So for that, how we are going to relate all these things? If your performance is degrading, if your performance is not, if you are not considering your thing, what will be affected is the quality of the services what you are providing here. So here the quality of the services what you are using is when I mean, so how come you are processing all the services and then it's provided by your provider, and whatever the services provided by the other also has to be gathered and has to be measured here. So for that, what we need to do is nothing but we need to specify the quality of the services also. So for the quality of the services metrics, we use internet, web services, and then there is a system availability is there or not. If any service is there, it is dependent on another one. And what are the security services what you are using, and if any attacks when has been occurred, what are the defense things what you are performing through the system has to be specified. If these are not in the correct way, what it does is nothing but it will degrade the performance of your system as well as the quality of the service what you are providing here also. So after that, we have the second one that is a regarding to the performance. Also, we are having another one that is the dimensions of the scalability. So here, what we need to do is nothing but it has to perform the scalable performance. Scalability is divided into four types. That is a scale in, scale out, like that. We are providing four different. So any environment we are apting has to provide the performance based on the things what you are using. So what we need to do here is nothing but here we need to provide these resources what we are using has to be upgraded. So what the things we are using, that is the hardware and the software we are using from the earlier are not being considered here, because in the fastest world what we have to do is nothing here. We need to specify that the network what we are using should be in the high bandwidth one, and then next whatever the services, whatever the accessing what you are providing here should be done in a means fraction of seconds or the multiple very quickly. We have to performing all these things. So what we need to do is nothing but we need to specify, we have to design a thing that is we have already one. We have to over design all these things what we are having. So for that, we what there is the thing is cost effectiveness. Means what they have to do is nothing but we need to specify, that is what we are using. Means if you are using the laptop which is not supported for your environment, what it is doing is nothing but the laptop will help you connect to the another environment by using the cloud system what you are using. So that is a system scaling. System scaling is used. This what the system scaling is the resources what you are doing here. Means what you are using will be depends upon the factors what you are using here. What it does here, that is it is overcoming the cost effectiveness, that is over designing what you are considering, that is existing hardware and the software resources are not compatible with the things what you are using. We need to redesign. That is a over designing has to be considered. If the over designing has to be considered, means it has to be for 2 years, for after 2 years, or for after 5 years, we need to redesign. We have to do these things repeatedly. Means there is no any chance of ending all these things. What they're doing is nothing but here you need to use all the things what you are having only. But what we have to do is nothing but we need to connect to the environment, the services or the what it is provided. So the cloud has the services. The cloud, it is providing the three types of the models or the three types of services there. If you want to access the infrastructure, that is if you want to access the any workstation or any data center or anything, what it is doing, we are using the service that is IaaS. And then next what it is providing is that is a program, that is a PAS will be there. So here what you are providing, it is having that you are providing the deploy, that is developing area here. So many things you are providing, that is different programming languages, or there you are testing, you are designing, and then next you are redesigning and you are deploying all these things. You are making the outputs also there other, you are getting the results are also there. So if you want to use the already developed one, that is any software developed, that is if you want to use any word document, or word document is there, you can use a word document. Another one is a presentation, so already developed. that also providing the services. So by that, what it is doing is nothing but here it is overcoming the that is over design factor here. So here the cost effective means what you are specifying is the cost effective is not means more design may not be cost effective, but what it is specifying is it is for all these things we need to means for after means for example if you are using 1990s processor means you have to change that one, because in this first of all whatever you have to do is you have to use the things which are compatible with this thing. Although you are using the new one and it is not compatible to your environment means not all the time we are changing your things. So what we need to do is nothing but we need to app the environment which is supporting here. So what are the dimensions of the means for parallel and the distributed systems are size scalability and then software scalability are considered, and the other one that is also really specified. So the first one, size scalability. What is your size scalability here? How we are going to provide is the machine size. So here the dimension has been reduced. How we are going to reduce here is I'm taking the machines as that is what the machine is concerned. Here the machine is consists of that is a cache and the next processors and the memory and then input output devices like that we are specifying. So here, this is the size of your computer. What we are doing here is that in that how many processors we are using here, how many processor we need to consider. So for processing your work, what is the size scalability here? I am going to specify is the number of the processors installed can be the size here. So that is more processors, more size. So if you are using many processors to process your work, the size scalability is perpendicularly, that is directly proportional to that thing. And then next, if it is coming to the software scalability, how we are going to specify that is the operating systems, the compilers, and then next other any applications, any environments what you are using has been included in your system. Means how many things you has been added here. It is determining the software scalability. How many operating systems you are using here, and then how many compilers you are using. For example, if you are specifying that is a C and then it's Java and then it's Python you are using, or you are specifying and then it's any environment what you are providing. So these are the things we are adding. After that, mathematical libraries to that thing. Installing new applications means not all the applications we are providing will accept all these things. We need to add the new things here. So for apping new things, we need to take the environments to into your system. So after that, what we are doing is you are providing another environments also for accessing all these things. So whatever the softwares you are used in your that is system or in your PC will specify the software scalability. And the another one is the second one, sorry, third one is the application scalability. So here it is completely refers to the matching problem size. That is, if we are specifying the data, means the problem size scalability means uh, what you are specifying that is the problem will have the data also. The problem what you are considering will have the data, and we have to check whether the data is having that is what the result is yielded here. So here the scalability, the problem size is that is compared with the machine size. So machine size means what are the processors we are using. So if we are using, if we are the problem what you have specified is using the resources what you are having, that is the process inputs and the next output devices, cache, whatever present. If it is using effectively, then only what it is what it is providing is it is providing that is the best result will be positive. If it is not using all the things what you are having, then what it does is nothing but it is simply that is it is the machine size also. Machine size also include what the apps you are also there. Next one, technology scalability. So technology scalability is completely avoiding means refers to your matching problem size. So what is the problem? What is the problem you are accessing? Means for example, if you are taking the addition of the two numbers, means it's not a simple problem, it's not a big problem here. So we need to specify. If you want to access the organization data or any means, if you want to specify any WhatsApp app or anything, you want to access all these things, what we need to do is nothing but we need to specify what the programming languages we are using, what are the modules we are specifying there, how we are going to process all these things like that. We need to specify there itself only. And then next, another one, third one is in the performance measurements only. That is scalability versus image count. So we know that the single image and the multiple image concept is there. Means we are using the that is grids or clouds or anything. If you are using anything, what you are doing is nothing but we are specifying the nodes are connected into a network, any cluster also. They are clubbed into a network there. So they are wirelessly or wired. So they what they are using is they are using a thing that is a laptop or a phone or anything. So if your phone is supporting the Android, next another phone has to be supported to the Android only. So if it is not supporting the Android, means if that is having some another behavior. So for example, if you are taking laptop or PC, if your PC is supporting the Windows one, what is the another one here is you can take the Linux. If the Windows advanced version is supported by one PC, another version is having the only the basic version of the Windows, then there should be no compatibility between. Because why we need to consider the compatibility means whatever the applications, whatever the programming environments we are using has to be compatible with the system what we are specifying. If it is not compatible, what we need to do, we need to add the compatible environment to our system. If you are adding, then what it does is nothing but it is having the behavior which is the unique one. If you are not adding that one, what it does is nothing but what it is having the multiple behaviors or the multiple system images what you are considering. So to maintain the single system image, what you are doing, what you are providing is that autonomous, that is simply taking the decisions on our own has to be reduced to the other one. So for that, what we need to do here is we are mentioning that the scalability what you are providing, and the next what is the OS image count has to be means known to the user there. So what is the scalable performance here is means here what you are going to estimate here is the multiplicity of the OS images in the distributed systems. So here multiplicity, why we are considering the OS images I am using. Operating system images means what I said, that is the Windows versions are there, and then next Linux is there, Linux versions are also there. Other than any environment what you are providing, Mac or anything, any environment what you are providing has to be first we've taken, and then next by all this way considering together, what we do is nothing but we need to estimate the scalable performance against all these things. So how we are going to specify this performance is however you are considered, what work you are considered. So the thing is, if we are adding more processors to our, that is more servers to our programming environment, that is a problem solving environment, what it is doing is it is achieving higher speed. So if you are giving a server to the 1,000 systems, what it does here, so the 1,000 systems has to access the data from this server only. The server will be pressurized there, so it won't perform that much for what it is designed. So what we need to do here, we are leveling up the things here. How we are going to leveling up means here we are placing these perform, that is the nodes what we are using here, that is the systems at the levels, and then next we are assigning a server to the that level, or we are assigning a network bandwidth to level. Everything what we are assigning to that level only. So each and everything has to be, means each and everything the server what you are using has the same data, has the same permissions when compared to the other servers also. So why we are using all these things is we need no need to pressurize the system here. What we need to do is nothing but we need to solve the problem. For solving the problem, what you have to do is we need to divide up the work, and then we need to give the work to the other nodes. If you are dividing the work to the other nodes, what you have to do is nothing but the accessing environment what you are providing has to be divided up there. So that's why the processors and the servers are all what you are using has to be added. So whenever we are considering the servers also, what you are doing is nothing but we are enlarging your memory size also, and then it's the disk capacity what you are using, we are also extending, and you are also using, that is the extend up IO channels here. So when we are trying to add up the more processor or the more servers, what the things also we are adding is the memory size, and then next what you are mentioning that the disk capacity for that level, and then next whatever the IO channels we are using has been added here also. So if we are considering the image of this thing is how many independent systems are there? Means in this cluster or grid or anything, any cloud what we are considering, how many independent systems are there, then it is considered as a OS image. So if one system is independent of its independent from the others, means it can take the own decisions, it can maintain its own environment, not based on the other thing. What it does is nothing but it can be considered as a OS image here. So if we are specifying each and every image, each and every node what you are using in a cluster, grid, power to peer to peer, and the next cloud as in each one has a individuality or independent on other things. What we will say is nothing but here the things what we are maintaining has the multiple that is a multiple system images here. So whatever you are specifying has to be independent. Then what it do is nothing but then it is specifying the OS image here. Means I am independent of the things what you are specified. I can take the decisions based on the things, and you can compare all these things with the SMP what you are using here also. And what is the SMP that is how we are going to specify is that is a symmetric multi-process here. So the why we are specifying is a symmetric means it is a single node in a large cluster. So how we are specifying it is using the shared memory only, but the shared memory is not allowed to other processes what we are using. It is only using the limited one. There is a few process only will allowed to use this symmetric multi-process server environment. And then what the another thing it is providing there is an interconnection, and then it's packaging what it is uh, means reducing, and then next what it is doing is it is limiting all the services to that one only. So we are having a diagrammatical representation of the scalability of the process. Here we have that is what are the works we have done in the x-axis, that then we are having the scalability process here. So the scalability of the process what you have specified is in which is high, means the grid environment what you are using, and within the in environment what you are providing, that is the in the grid environment we are having the cluster, and then next it is having the cloud, and then peer-to-peer network is first based on all these things. And then next we are also having that SMP protocol which is initiated at the that is 1 to 10 only, that is hundreds of the systems only. Means how many of the systems you can use in the that is grid means 10 to the power of 6, and the how you are maintaining all these things also provided by the 10 to the power of 6 times here. So if the cloud you are supporting, that is it is using the 10 cube to the 10 to the power of 5, that is from the 1000 to that it is providing 10,000 systems we can use the multiplicity. When you are using that is when you are providing the scalability of that is number of the process or the core senior system is increasing, what it is doing also it is increasing in the system that is the processing what you are providing here also. And the another one we are having is the Adams law. So here, so how you are going to provide this law, how you are going to access is, so the execution of a given program what you are using, what you are providing is has to be done on a uniprocessor workstation, and with the total execution time of the team. So here we are calculating the minutes, that is the execution time in the name of capital T minutes here. So if the program is running, means not at all the time you are providing the uniprocessor here. That is simple one process because we are not going to provide. If you need to provide the environment that is as a parallel, so what we need to do here is if the program is running in the parallel and the other service that is involved with the other servers on the cluster, so what you need to do is nothing but we need to specify that there should be there is a fraction of the code must be executed sequentially. Means the fraction is specified by the alpha here. So what the alpha specifies here is the code what you are using at this fraction of time at this particular environment. So we if you consider many things, means it is having that is one alpha, and then next n alphas we can be specified. So here what the thing here accessing is one alpha of the code can be compiled for parallel execution by n process. Means we take the code of that thing, and it means we are not taking all the code, we are taking only the say fraction of the code, and it is compiled and it is parallelly executed by the process here. We're not using the any other things here. What we are doing is we are taking the code and we are dividing all these things. So how we are providing all these things here, that is by calculating the total execution time of the program with the alpha t plus 1 minus alpha t, which is divided by whole divided by the n here. So here we are mentioned there is a first term of the sequential, that is sequential execution, and the another one is a nodes execution, like that we are representing. So here for example, how we are going to specify here. So the thing we are using is this one. So how we are going to specify this, so the communications we are using also, that is communication means, for example, if you are executing in the parallel environment, there also what you need to consider, we need to consider that there could be some message passings, and then there could be some waiting times, there could be some IO waiting times will be there. And if it is any exception has been occurred, the exception has to be handled. So what the things what you are considered, all these things has been ignored here. So what they took is they just the compiling time, and then next what the execution time has been specified here. So based on this thing, what the Adamla states that is the speed up factor means, what the speed up factor what you are using is of the using n process systems or the single process system means, if you are using n process systems, that is what the program you are giving, that is executed on the single process, it is has been executed in the parallel environment using n process here. So what it is specifying is speed up is equals to what the thing we are using here, that is alpha t plus 1 minus alpha t by n, that is the total factor what you are using means previously has been divided by the total minutes here what you are using. So here the thing what you are specifying, that is you are taking the t as a common thing, that is 1 divided by alpha plus 1 minus alpha divided by n. So we are taking the thing what is t what you are mentioning has been cancelled here. So the maximum speed up of the n can be obtained when only if the alpha is reduced to 0, or the code can be parallelized with the alpha is equals to 0. Means here if you are mentioning 1 by, if you are taking that is 1 minus 1, if it is 0, if it is you are specified, that is it is 0, 1 minus 0 plus 0, and then next what it is 0 plus 1, 1 divided by n means how many process we are using. If I am using 10 process, 10 process means 1 divided by 10, 1 divided by 1 divided by 10 means what it takes as the denominator, and then denominator is considered as a numerator there. So what you are taking, it is a 10, so 1 by 10. So when you are maximizing all these things, when you are maximizing, when it is reduced to 0, alpha factor is whatever the things what you are specifying, that is the fraction of code what you are adding or what you are checking has to be reduced to 0, then only the parallel environment what you are providing can be have the maximum speed up value. So if the when you are considering cluster environment, so the cluster will be the that is large, means we can't say the cluster will have 100 elements only, 10 elements, that is a 10 systems only, like that. So it can have the many, how we are going to represent it, it is a that is represented as a infinity here. So the assess about how you are going to approach all these things as an approach with, that is 1 by divided by, that is the what will be the threshold or the speed up of this thing is 1 by, that is alpha we are having, because we don't need to specify that is n is having some particular element here. So why we need to take this sequential bottleneck is, that is the code what you are presenting, the code what you are executing could not be a parallelized one, because we have a problem here. We need to overcome that thing. What we need to say, we need to specify the code what we are using cannot be parallelized here. So that is where there is no execution of the parallel. If you are supporting the parallel execution, what it does is nothing but it completely ruins what we are having. So we are taking, that is the maximum speed achieved is 4. So how we are going to see that is a 4, that is we are having the alpha value what we are specifying, the alpha is equals to 0, 0.25, and the 1 minus alpha is a 0.75. So by substituting all these things, what you do, what we do, what we do is nothing but we look at the how many process we have. So if we are using many hundreds of the processor also, how the value we are getting is nothing but it's simply in the 4, that is the speed. What is the maximum value of that is simply 4 only. What on how many value, how many process we are using is, we can specify, that is we have used, that is hundreds of the process. If we are using hundreds of the process, the speed factor is just 4 only, like that we are specifying. So what makes this law? What it is doing here is it should make the sequential execution and also the parallel execution. What you are considered will be possible here. So what the problem here? So how we are going to specify the problem? What is the problem with the fixed workflow? So if you are having the same amount of the workload for both the sequential and the parallel execution means, if I need to take this fixed means this processor and this processor, you have two processors will have the only some amount of that one, that is it is having this fraction of code 1 by 10th, and the another one also will have the 1 by 10th only. So then the problem will occur, and the data set also limited data set is provided. So this one will access the only 20 days data items, and this one also will access the 20 data items. Then how we are facing the problem here is, so the fixed data, that is fixed workload, won't speed up here. So why it is not won't speed up means, so it is taking only the fixed workload, and then it's that number of process what you are using means based on the things what you are specifying, and how you are going to provide how effectively it is performing the work is that is a metric will be the system efficiency. So the efficiency factor how you are going to measure is E is equals to S by N. And what is the value you are taken here is that N factor, that is S by N here. So S by N means N the number of process what you are providing. The S factor what we also know, that is we are having the 1 divided by alpha N plus 1 alpha plus 1 minus alpha D, which is divided by N. So it is also divided by N, which is cancelled, and the next we are taking, that is 1 by alpha N plus 1 minus alpha here. So how you are going to calculate this thing means, the efficiency is low when the cluster size what you are using is large. So how you are going to prove here? So to execute a problem on a cluster, what you are using some 256 nodes it is using. So what is the value of N is 256. So to calculate the efficiency, so what it is taking, the alpha value is equal to 0.25. So it is a fixed one. So 0.25 and the 1 minus alpha value is a 0.75 there. So here how it is going to specify is here E is equals to 1 divided by, we are mentioning 0.25 into 256. After calculating all these things, we are getting the efficiency factor as a 1.5%. So if we are using 256 nodes, what it is doing here, so it is not providing the efficiency of the work in the worthy manner. So what it is doing here is, so this is only few process we are using. What it is doing is what it is providing here is the process what you are using, it's not been worked here. So why it is the 4 here is, while accessing means while processing all these things, not all the time all the processors will work. What they do is, some processor will work, some processor will wait, and some process will keep idle. So we need to consider. I'm saying I'm using 256 nodes. 256 nodes means what it is doing. It is not using all the 256 nodes at a time. How we are going to describe here is, for example, if the one program is waiting for the means, if one part of the code is waiting for the one means another one. What it has to do is nothing but it is not in the execution state. What it is doing, it is in the waiting state there. That is, it is not doing anything. It is sitting idle only. What it is doing is it is completely waiting for that thing. So another one also like that only. After all, what it is doing is here. So I am executing. I am processing only the 4 here. What it is doing here is nothing but I am busy with the 4, whereas the others what I am mentioning, there is 252 nodes what I am using are kept idle. So that's why the efficiency of the work has been decreased, and it is very low when compared with the when you are using the cluster size small here. When if you are using the cluster size is small, we won't get the efficiency factor as much as low here, because when the cluster size is small, then the nodes what you are using also will be small, and then whatever the nodes we are using, and then next we are accessing all that information from that one. If you are getting the efficiency factor as a 1.5 means okay, for this cluster size it is applicable. If you are not using low amount of, that is a small amount of the nodes, if you are specifying that 256 amount and you are getting 1.5%, it is not the workable for the process what you are specifying. And the next one, what is you are having is a Gustafson law. What it is specifying here is, to the disadvantage of the last one is it is specifying the low efficiency. So what we need to do here, we need to get the higher efficiency here. So we need to get the higher efficiency. along with the usage of the large cluster. So how you are going to specify it is the problems wise what you have to what you are using is the scaling. The scaling factor what you are providing is here is has to be considered. That is, we need to scale the problem size to the cluster's capability here. Then what it does is nothing but it will be there some increase in the efficiency here. So the speed up law what is provided by the Gustafson is scalable. That is also for the scaled workload. That is, we are having the fixed workload here also, and we are, the workload how we are going to specify is the capital W. And what will be if we are using the n process system? How we are going to calculate the workload is W dash is equals to alpha W plus 1 minus n into 1 minus alpha into n W like that. So here, what is the thing we need to consider is only the portion of the workload what you are specifying that we are accessing has to be parallelized here. And then next another one what you are specifying it is the second that is what you are mentioning also we has to specify. So the scale workload that is W dash what you are using is the sequential execution. And while coming to this parallel execution, what you are using is you have to consider the n processors here. So how we are going to specify the n process here is the scale work what you are using. The sequential work has been means has to be divided with the workload. Means sequential work has to divide with the workload. Then what we do is nothing but alpha. We will get the alpha plus 1 minus alpha into n. Means we will get only the specified one only. Means we are not means whether we described in the previous slides there is a value that is alpha plus 1 minus alpha, that is a fraction of code only executed. By this there is no any restriction, there is no any processing. What it does is nothing but it takes the efficiency to the higher. How we are going to take the efficiency means E dash is equal to take we took that as n that is divided by n. So here the alpha by n and the next alpha that is 1 minus alpha into n divided by n. Then we get the alpha by n plus 1 minus alpha. So here I'm taking same example here. Now how we are going to specify the here there is the 250 nodes are taking, and then next to 0.25 and then next to taken that is a 0.75. So if we are accessing for the fixed workload means not the scalable, not the means it is if you're taking the workload what you are providing has to be changed like that. No, you are not providing, you are providing the fixed workload. What it is doing here is it must be used that the scaling what you are providing. So if you have to scale, the scale should be between the problem size and the machine size what you are using, or the cluster size what you are using has to be provided. So if you are scaling with the users also, the users has to be mentioned here. If you are providing this only, what you need to do is we will get the efficiency as the higher one. And then if you want to means take the performance also, what you need to do is nothing but we need to specify the application flexibility and the system availability as the goals of your distributed computing system. And then next one we are having the fault tolerance and the system availability. In this we need to specify what is the availability of your system. That is a highly available or it is not available like that we are speed. If we need to take the highly available for all the clusters or the grids we need to take, we need to specify that is it is a long mean time it has to be considered. So how we are going to use that is if it is has a long mean time to failure, that is MTTF, and a short mean time to repair. Means if what you are considering is failure and the repair, what you are means long mean time to failure means there is a particular time there is means there should be a long time, it should be considered as a failure. Means there is no any short time has to be considered. Means if your design within the short time it's failure means it is not the highly available system, it is a failure system. And the short mean time to repair means if any problem occurred, the problem has to be resolved in a very short time only. Means the failure has to be occurred in the means in the span of time what you are considering, it could be very far, and then next what the repair time could be very short. So the system availability here specified is MTTF by divided by this is divided MTTF plus MTTF. That is the failure factor, and the failure factor plus the repairing factor has to be added. That way there could be you will get the system availability. So how we are going to specify the system availability means it is completely depends upon the hardware, software and the network components what we are using. We can't say that is completely depends upon the hardware or the software we are also using. So it also includes the network components what we are using for connecting with the that is a grid or computer or anything, any cluster what you are considering. So if any failure occurs here, so any failure, what is failure has to be occurred, that is it should be a single point of failure, not as a multiple point of failure. So what is a single point of failure means the failure what has been occurred in this environment won't affect the environment to the another one. So the failure has been resolved or been done at this environment has to be processed by this thing only. So next, what is the goal of that thing? It is a general goal. What is the goal of the manufacturer or the user is, so there could be no single point of failure also. So why you need to consider that the system has to specify that is a single point of the failure has to be done, means overcome. So how we are going to achieve this means the factors what we are mentioned consider means adding the hardware redundancy, component reliability, and the design testability. That is we need to maintain as sensors were in the yesterday's lecture also we need to that is we need to maintain the sensor which it could be used as a backup at this particular amount of the time. So what you are using, that is a redundancy you are specifying the hardware redundancy what you are using, and the next increasing the reliability of the components what you are providing has to be increased. So by that if you are applying all these things for your environment what you are using, the thing we are having, that is the representation which will be means how many things are related to the hive, and that is a clusters what you are using cloud, and then it get the environment what you are using are representing the high performance here when compared with the availability, whereas the MPP and the next NUMA SMP and the peer-to-peer networks are having the low compatibility, that is low availability when we are specifying all these things. Next one, there is a network threats, and that means what are the threats and how the integration will be means we are maintaining here is, so these are the threats we are crossing, that is loss of confidentiality, loss of integrity, loss of availability, and the improper authentication. So these are the things we need to consider. So here how we are going to provide all these things here specified is, there is a information leakage, integrity violation, denial of the service, illegitimate use, these are considered as the things. So we know we won't consider only these things, or means if is dropping, traffic analysis cannot be considered as a information leakage. We can also consider masquerade, penetration, bypassing control, authorizations not also specified as a information leakage. So these are the representations what we are using for the means these are the threats we will face, and these are the occurrences of the things. So how we are going to specify all these things in the threats and network threats here. So how we are going to provide the security, what are the responsibilities here is confidentiality, integrity, and then next the services what we are providing must be available, should be the responsibilities of a security, is that is a network security here. So we are using these services for the cloud. So in order, what are the providers what we are using is they should increase or the transfer the security control to the users also. Means if you are passing the control to the users, they would some users will violate, some user will use these in the proper way. So what we need to do is nothing but they need to enhance the security features. They want to provide the some of the controls to the user, and they also they means which are only means useful to the user only. Not all the things not has to be added to the thing. So first, if you consider the SaaS model, what you need to do is nothing but the cloud provider will have the security features. Means what they do is nothing but that means what they do here is that is completely designed one software. What you are using the software, so what the user do is nothing but the service what it is providing by the software has to be used by the software. Means we can't take the charge of the software and we can't change the code what we are having, like that it not be encouraged in that environment. And if you are providing the as here, that is IaaS, means in this model, if it, that is it is relies, means the power, that means the model what you are using, the SaaS will have the security features in the cloud provider only. If you are providing the IaaS, that is infrastructure as a services, the user wants the take the control of the security functions, because they need to decide. Means they mean some data centers, but if they want to means if they don't want to control the all these things, means that a cloud provider what to do is I think, but they want to decide, and then they want to take the availability of the services what they provided, security functions what they provided by the these IaaS providers what you are using. If you are considering the past here, the security aspects are divided into multiple things here. Means why we need to do it, there could be availability of the things will bear burden. Sometimes it can consider as a burden. Data integrity has to maintain, confidentiality has to, if it is using some tools here, tools also be used by these by using the programming environment here. So what they do is nothing, that they need to have the access here. So access, maintaining the access or the giving in the accessing will be easy. What they feel is they will feel burden while accessing all these things and processing all these responsibilities while they having. And the next one is the copyright. So here the copyright representation really has the piracy representations. How we are dividing is here is a that is a played client, that is called the colluders. So here the copyrighted contents what they are using is means if you are having some subscription, what you are doing is you are providing these credentials to another person. What you are doing is nothing but you are providing these your information, what you are gathered is a paid one, that is a colluders to the pirates here. Means unpaid clients what they are using is they simply accessing the data for what they are not paid here. So that is the online piracy. What you are, somebody is having the access to the one website and the other person's also accessing by using their credentials. Sometimes what if they means if you they are using only one access to the any email id or anything, what they do is nothing but they just copy, means from this website only they are using or anything, what they do is that they copy the data, and then if they are providing the files what they are having to the unpaid clients, which are who are considered as the pirates here. So this is called the online piracy. So these online piracy is completely depends upon completely means where you are using is the peer-to-peer networks are completely specified, because there you can also we can use the data means whenever we want to join, whenever we want to leave, it is depends upon the user. What is it is allowing that to take, means it is giving a choice to a user that you can access your information means by by staying here only by continuing in this network. If you want to leave the network, you can leave the network. So if you want, if you are supporting all these things, means what to do is nothing but they are having that is data what you are mentioned, there is a copyrighted data to the others also. If you are paid also, what you are doing, you are just not giving you using your information in a right way. So for that, what we need to do is nothing but we need to develop a proactive content poisoning scheme to stop colluders and the predators from the illegal. Means how we are going to do is nothing but the copyrights infringements what we are using, that is a file sharing environment has to be stopped here. So there is no there is no, if you want to use the file, you use here only. There is no environment like the file sharing or the file downloading like that. We need to specify. So if any pirates are detected, what they do is nothing but they means the signatures and then what they do is nothing but they take action on that means on that and clients who are providing that is the colluders also, pirates also. Next, we are having that is system defense technologies. What are the defense technologies we are having is we are divided into three generations here. So in this first generation, the tools were designed to prevent or avoid intrusions. So the tools are designed to avoid only the intrusions only. So they, if they are, I mean, if they are accessing, if they want, if anyone want to access the data, they will get into our environment. To what these tools are doing is nothing but they will preventing them. So how we are going to prevent all these things, and all these means how we are providing is it is using the control policies or the tokens or the cryptographic systems or any credentials like that it is providing. So by using this secure type, an intruder has to do is nothing but he need to provide all these things to access the information of that thing. In the second generation, what it is doing is it means detecting the intrusions here. Means if any, means here any intruder is there, any intruder came and having the access of our files, what it do is so what is the intrusion occurred, and it is what I have to do to overcome this thing. If it is occurred at this time, okay, so how it is occurred and how am I going to overcome these things has to be considered here. So for that, what these techniques I am using here is I am including the firewalls, detection techniques, IDSs, that is the services, reputation, anything what you are doing we are providing here. And the third generation, how we are going, it is intelligent responses to the intrusions. So if anybody is trying to intrude, they trying to enter into the my system, what I am doing is I am means I am giving some comeback, other I am providing some that is a response to that thing. So you can't use the thing like that. I am providing some intelligent answers to that thing. Means I'm chit chatting with the intrusions to that is you won't able to access all this data like that I'm providing. So these are the three generations we are having. And how we are going to provide the data structure, that is a protection structure here. So here the system, what we are using is we are using the web services and the cloud services. We need to specify the data security, the data protection at the user level, at the application level, and in between what we are using has to be specified also here. So if we are specifying at the user level, what we need to do is nothing but they has to perform the trust negotiation and the aggregation. That is all the users has to specify that the credentials has to be considered here. So if you are considered the application, in what we need to do is nothing but we need to specify that the security precautions what you are using, that is a intrusion detections, that is a virus, any worms will be there, what are any attacks will be there. So the attacks has to be maintained, and for that attack we need to mean, so if the attack also what they are doing also to overcome, to not enter into that thing, we need to use some tools for the that thing also. So and another thing what we use, that is the mechanisms to prevent online piracy and the copyright violations. So all these has to be specified for the data protection also. Means not allow, means if you are taking the care of the only the users and applications, some what they do is nothing but they will get the data from these online piracy. So to overcome the online piracy also, what we need to get the means the mechanisms what we are using has to be deployed there itself only. So what means for that what we are doing is we are dividing the security responsibles into three service models, that is IaaS and then XPaaS and then next SaaS here. So the providers what we are using is that they are responsible for the platform availability. Means we are not taking care of the cloud what we are having. What we are doing is nothing but we are dividing them into the services here. The users what they accessing, who are they accessing this means these service will be means take care of by their providers. So here we are dividing the work here. So the providers will take care of their accessing points what they are having. So if the IaaS users are considered, they are responsible for the confidentiality issue. Means why you are going to consider confidentiality means you are accessing, you are trying to give the access to the data centers here. So data centers and the data integrity, what you need to maintain here is nothing but they could be confidential. Confidential has to be there for the accessing the data centers here. So in case of the PaaS and SaaS, what they do is nothing but they are preserving the data integrity of, means here we need to consider all the services are completely based upon the confidentiality and the next data integrity things what we are using here. The last one we are having is the energy efficiency in distributed computing. So how we are going to specify these things, or is the means we are having, we have to set the goal here. So what is the goal of this distributed computing environment is, that is a high performance. So the high performance we need to specify, and then it's a high throughput also. So here why need to why we need to do is all these things here is the performance is how fast you are accessing your data, and then next in this a particular amount of the time, how many operations has been done has to be considered as the HT, that is a high throughput here. So while providing these things, we will encounter some challenges also. So what could be the challenges will be energy efficiency, workload, resources outsourcing has to be considered here. How is the energy consumption when compared to these parallel and the distributed environment in the computing has to be considered. Means energy consumption means we consider that is the process what we are using here, and then next what are the system performance uses, the say environmental performance issues has to be considered. So if we are considering the energy issues, the energy issues means the megawatts of the power, that is p flops has to be used in processing all these things, and has to be in the budget control only. We are not using, if you want to plot a high performance and the high throughput one, we don't need to go for the things what we are having, that is we need to plot the many money there, there is a more money, and then if you are accessing all these things with the high bandwidth and all these things has to be considered. So for that we no need to spend the more money to get all these things. If they, what it does is nothing but it will come for the risky procedures. Means if we are investing all the money for building this thing only, for maintaining or for providing the services in the future, we don't have that much of money to access all these things. So how we are going to specify here is the energy consumption of the unused servers. So how here means there could be some servers which are unused for particular amount of the time. So how we, why we need to maintain all the servers? So we need to specify if there is any uh, unused server, that is idle servers will be there. So what we need to do is nothing but we need to make the other way. There should be no like that. For example, if the server is there, what we need to provide is the cooling issues, and then extra the resources which are available for the servers we need to provide. Not all the servers will be access all the time. For the particular amount of the time, they could be maintained for the unused. First, we need to identify what are the unused servers we are having. So after that, identifying, what we need to do is nothing but we need to specify what are the active servers also. Means unused servers and the active servers I have to specify here. So if we are using the active servers, so we need to specify how many how many servers are using, how much energy they are providing has to be specified there. So for that, we need to apply some techniques to decrease the energy consumption of the distributed services what you are having, and the performance what you are mentioning. So for this power management, what we need to do is nothing but we need to specify, we need to have the that is we are 4-layer architecture we need to specify here. So we are having this type of representations. We have the 4 layers: the network layer, resource layer, and then mixed middleware layer, and the application layer. So which one is working has to be specified here. So not all the time we will use the middleware layer. On the next application, at the last we will have the output like that. So in the resource layer, we won't use all the resources at a time. In the network layer, we won't use all the networks at a time. We need to specify all those things here. So the first one, application layer. So means based on the application area what you are using, we will describe that the what are the types of the what is the system speed, and the next what is the quality we are using. So here the applications what you are using must be energy cautious one. So if you are trying to use the more energy, that is for designing or usage of the applications. For example, if you are using this type of representation for the DNA sequence or weather forecasting, so to plot all these things, so how much energy it is using, how much energy it is providing, and then next you must know all these things. So for that, what we need to is nothing but there could be any a relation, correlation will be there. We need to specify or we need to identify all these things first. So further, by that, what we do is nothing but we reducing the performance. It will means it won't be happen. What we do is nothing but we will minimize the energy what we are using to and the next methodologies what we are presenting here has to be considered. And the next, middleware. So it is acts as a bridge between the application layer and the resource layer. And here what the resource layer provides is a resource broker, and then a combination service, task analyzer, task scheduler, security access. All these things has to be specified, and it is also responsible for the energy efficient techniques what you are using here. So for example, if you are minimum means for them what you are using means schedule has to be specified there. So the schedule means it has to minimize the make span. That is the execution time which you are using for the set of the task what you are using has to be minimized here. So to take these distributed systems, so to means to minimize all these things, there is a make span and the energy. We need to take a new cost function which covers both these the execution time for the set of the task, and then next energy consumption for executing all these tasks has to be considered when working with the middleware. And coming to the resource layer, so what the resource layer specifies it is completely accessing all the computing nodes and the storage units what you are using, and it is interacting with the hardware devices what you are using, and the operating systems, and what are the responsibles of these things are, that is the resources what you are having given distributed, and the next any computer system what it is, that is distributed computer system what you are using has to be specified here. And then it's whatever the mechanisms we are used for mentioning, that is a power management, or that is a hardware or the operating system has to be considered here also. And for that, what we use that is a dynamic power management (DPM), and then next a DVFS, or the methods which are used for the that is a computer hardware system. So what the DPM does is that is hardware which are considered as the hardware devices. So capability to switch from idle mode to on a means one or more means lower port. So idle means it is not doing anything, and but it is consuming power also. So this is the lower mode. What it is doing is it is providing any other lower modes also. So sitting idle is not the thing. What it is doing, it is shutting down for the particular amount of the time. When it is able to access the information, what it does is it is coming back to the its mode by using the DPM. if you are using DVFS, what it does here is it is issued by the CMOS circuits what you are using. So what it does is it is having the direct relationship with your means frequency on the square of the voltage supply what you are using. So if you are concentrating on the execution time and the power consumption what you are means what you are specified, then there is a chance of the decreasing all these things what you are having. So while coming to the network layer, which is the last one, so we are having some routing and the transferring packets available will be there. So what it does is nothing but it is providing all these services to the resource layer what we are using there. So what is the responsibility of this thing is it is providing the packets and the next network services to the resource layer. So what is the challenge we are facing here is we need to measure here what is the energy, and the next we need to predict what the balance we need to maintain here has to be specified here also. To overcome this also we need to take some methodologies, and then next to perform there this also we need to specify what could be done to reduce the power here also. So what are the existing challenges what we are using here is the models what we are representing schematically what you say and say anything what we are doing is that is representing what are the users that is a full interaction with the space time and then next energy what you are having. If you are using any newly one, what you have to do is nothing but we need to specify algorithms to take the advantage of the maximum scaling and the next defining the attacks what you are having in the network layer. Means in the network layer we will face the that is attacks from the other intruders there. So first we need to specify all the things what we are having here. uh, and when coming to these data centers, what we are providing is that is ever increasing. That is, data has been stored. It means everybody is accessing the data centers here. So for this to overcome the algorithms, what they are using for this energy efficiency or anything has to be included. And then next, whatever the providing there has to they take the new. That is another core infrastructure has to be included, like the power grid and the next transportation systems has to be included here also. So what are the another thing that is a DVFS that is an agency that is a method how we are going to take the efficiency method is. So here we are taking that is enable the exploitation of the slack, that is ideal time. We are calculating the ideal time. How we are going to providing the ideal time is we are I'm providing the relationship between the energy and the voltage frequency we are using in CMOS, that is E and then F value we are specified here. So here by using this thing what we need to is the slack time what we are using, that is the task which is utilizing executing and the next which is providing the lower voltage fact, that is frequency has been uh, increased or has been founded here, and then next what it does is nothing but it is uh, means practically implementing, and then next it is decreasing the efficiency what you are having. So where V is how we are going to the V is the voltage, and then next CF that is a switching capacity, and then K is the technology dependent factor, whereas the VT is considered as a threshold voltage what you are specifying. Which are and these parameters what the parameter we are using, T is the execution time what you are representing for the clock frequency for the F here. If you are reducing these that is voltage and the frequencies what you are providing, so the energy consumption what you are providing for your processor will be decreased or will be reduced here. So these are about these that is things what your efficiency and then next security things what you are using here. Thank you.